Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. Today we're looking at mini rails. This is how to set up, play and review in 4K. And if you are watching this as a short, make sure you watch the full video over on Instagram. Also, make sure you check out the comments. Always reply in the comments are best in YouTube because there are other places you can be viewing this. Now, this is a 3 to 5 player game. This has been designed by Mark Gerritz and this has been made in Taiwan. Now, I have been to Taiwan, I may have mentioned that before. I've also made obviously my unboxing teaser trailer preview over video. And as you can see, these have got the letter A. So because it's in 4K, so you can zoom in. I actually have zoomed out of the camera slightly as well. And you can do this on a B side, which I have also played as. And I have played at all player counts, 3, 4 and 5. Now, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I can tell you now, I actually prefer it as a 3 and a 5, even though I know most people prefer it as a 4, where it might be perceived to be more less, I guess, more strategic. Okay, so we lay it out as you wish, like this, and then you place out the rest of it. So this is a game that takes about an hour, and what you're going to do is chuck out these pieces as well. And as you'll notice, again, they are going to have a number or a letter on them too. So you're looking for that letter. What you're going to be playing is placing these out as you wish, as so forth. Okay, so you're going to chuck these out, however you want to. Every game is different. So this is going to go in the How to Set Up Play and Review playlist. It's going to go in the AmassGames playlist. It's I think there's even going to be some other playlists it's going to be going into. Now this is a train station, kind of central depot. So that's going to go in the center, and everything else again can be completely randomized. As you can see, you've got some white dots and some red dots in a kind of stock market driven game. So everybody's going to take a color of their choice. So you're also going to take a market board. So I'm going to say purple, obviously being my last name being lavender. And I'm going to put it to this side. Just for reference, I'm going to show you a couple of other boards, but again, I'm not necessarily going to be using them. Everything else can go back in the box. You're also going to place out a number of cubes into the bag, depending on player count. So you're going to play with a certain amount. And everyone is going to take a respective color pawn, and another one as well, again, of their color. So for now, I'll just chuck out a few. So we've got orange in play. I've played out a few different colors. And yeah, please do like, share, hit the notification bell as well. And of course, subscribe. And also check out Gamers Online. So that's another thing you can check out as well. Various other things you can do. There are occasionally competitions, they are time sensitive. So via Linktree, you can find that in the description YouTube. Also, because they're time sensitive, like I said, they do disappear. Also head through to Facebook to join the discussion there. And also support the channel via Patreon. And lastly, via Instagram, there's over 3,500 followers currently. And you'll also find numerous other stuff, such as other potentially competitions, other giveaways, and other information that you can be using. So what you're going to be doing? Well, like I said, you're going to be chucking out a certain amount of these into the bag. And I'm just going to chuck out a number initially. So they're going to go into here. And then this is going to happen over 6 rounds, trying to get the highest score by investing in the right properties that you want to. Now, something you also need to do, depending on player count, is placing out a number of discs. So as a 3, you're placing out 3. So they're going to go out in red, for example. And they're going to go out there too. And again, any goofs, which I don't anticipate making, just check out the description again for updates. So if you're playing as a 3, you're placing out this. If you're playing as a 4, you're just placing out a single token. Now, there are other games by Modifius that I will be bringing into the channel as well. So again, make sure I said before about subscribing and liking. And you'll be able to, of course, catch up on them when they are released too. You may have seen them in the haul videos as examples of what is coming to the channel. Such as there's a game about tulips as well. And also the follow-up game to this, which is Mini Express. So there we go. We have laid out the board if we're playing as a 4. Now, I know I've laid it out as a 3 boards, but that's just to show you some examples. If you really want to, you can see another board in play there. Okay, so now we're going to crack on with actually how you play the game. Well, it's very straightforward. You do one of only 2 actions per round. Like I said, a total of 12 actions is going to be occurring in the game. And you're either buying stock or you are looking to move a train line. Why move a train line? Well, it is the golden age of the rail. It is the age of metal and paper. So what we're going to be doing is choosing to go in either investing in various things, and everyone else can benefit from that too, with a very clever way in how turn order works. So initially we need to decide who's going to start. Let's say obviously I start, and what we're also going to be chucking out is from the bag, obviously depending on the number of players, different amount of tokens are going to be used. You're going to place out a number of tokens. So we're going to place these out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You'll notice there's an extra one. The extra one is going to get taxed, which basically validates itself as a root, which is good. And I'll explain how that works too. So if you ever want to know how many tokens to use, so in a 4-player game, you're going to have 1 starting token as we've used, 9 different tokens are going to go in the bag, a total of 10 are going to get used. So I'll show you how that works. So I'm going to go first, and let's say I go here and buy a stock in, actually no, here's a better example, a stock in tan, whatever you want to call this color. So I'm going to go and buy a stock in tan. So what I do is I take my token and place it down here. So now it's on the 0 space. And now let's say it's orange's turn. So orange, well, let's go in, clockwise order. Orange goes here and also buys a stock in tan. Okay, so they go here. And what they do is you just spend your stock certificate. So it comes off. And now it's black's turn. And they choose to buy a stock in yellow. Okay, so then you just flip it over or move it off the board. And they get a stock in yellow. And now it's green's turn. Now green will get back-to-back turns because it's snake drafting, so it's fair like that. They buy a stock in grey. So again, they place it on the marker here, buy a stock in grey, it's their turn again. Doesn't benefit them in this interest, but let's just say they move up red. So red moves up here. Now in this case, no one has stock in red, so it won't go up by 1 position, otherwise it normally would. It will go down by 1 position, down by 3. So this moves it down, white moves it up by the amount of dots you can see. So now we've all been placing out turns. So where did this come from? I think it was from here. And obviously green went again. And now it's back to black's turn. And this time I want to show you how this works. They obviously can only do what's left. So they are going to move up stock in or down in obviously tan. So how does that work? Well, they're going to place out their token. And let's just get the term right. So what they're going to do is you're building tracks. So obviously from tan, they can build 3 tan. So how that's going to work? Well, everyone moves up 3. They move up 3, and that was obviously a silly move, but I want to show you how it worked, because of course that wasn't beneficial. So maybe what they're going to do is actually knock it down. So everyone loses 2. Okay, and now black has been, and now it's orange's turn. And what they're going to do is maybe send yellow backwards into retaliation. So now that moves yellow back 2. Of course, that's now spent. Final turn for lavender. And yeah, they might actually just choose to now get some helping out, obviously orange as well. They're going to move tan up 3 positions. So up to +1, up to +1. And lastly, white isn't getting taxed. Let's talk about how that works. And then we'll just do a setup for the next round and how that works. This means that anybody who happens to have white in the negative zone does not lose points because it's been validated as a legitimate company. It will not lose any kind of negative tax because it's been found to be reputable. However, any company that does not have a color in here, so let's say grey never got a color, well, actually, yeah, let's say grey never had a color out. So grey was all the way up to here. Everyone's been boosting up, loads of track and stuff, but did not choose to tax it. Well, anybody with a positive marker with that color, which is not here, disappears. So your final score will not have anything in this zone if it is not in this zone. So now what you do is you move to round 2. So as you can see how quick it is. You are now chucking out, obviously, some more tokens. And as you can see, everyone has moved up or down respectively. So now where are we going to go? And what you normally do is place your pawn actually on the location where it was taken from. So now black starts. Maybe black wants to go first again, this time investing, obviously you flip your markers back. This time it's going to again invest over in red. No one's got red, but this isn't a bad time to invest. Well, it's probably a bad time because it's going to go this way. So it probably doesn't want to go for red. There's not much blue left, and of course it won't then get taxed. We know white is getting taxed, and even though there's no other place to actually push it up, for now it's going to invest here. And then it's orange's turn, because of course they're now left across here. And let's say they, maybe they want to advance here. The downside, of course, is then everyone else can benefit, so maybe leave red alone. Maybe in this case, orange could double down. I'll show you how that works. So you can actually have the same stock twice, because after the end of 6 rounds, you are going to have 6 of these tokens. And then it's orange turn again, so maybe it could have done something different. But let's say, well, we know grey has got a vested interest. So now it's probably going to just do this to move grey. And actually, it's going to spend this, flip it back, to send it backwards 3. So you can definitely hate draft each other in a way, mess people over, but equally, as you're moving things outwards, you're moving towards the centre, and someone's going to be claiming 5 potentially. So most of these spaces will be taken. You can almost work it out, because of course everything's going to be moved 6 times, in this case 4, obviously times by 6 rounds. So that's basically how it's going to work. And again, you look at your final score. So I've won this game. I've come last. I've come second as well. So very enjoyable game. It's very straightforward. You literally can do 1 or 2 options. You want to do both, because as soon as you move somewhere, like, I'm giving the advantage to someone else, you'll naturally be helping somebody else out. So it's about, well, what's the least benefit you can do, or maybe let them help them out too, or maybe if, obviously in this case, orange and purple can choose to go over here. I know I said lavender before. Go over here, then at least hopefully orange will then come here, and hoping orange goes next, as opposed to it being, let's say, tan over here or brown, to then obviously go to 3 backwards on whichever colour we're talking about. So that's how the game works. So what's my review on this? Well, I think it's a very good game. I think it can be annoying how simple it is that you want to do something and wait for somebody else. You might think, oh, it's a bit unpredictable, because obviously you want to do something and you're going to hope that someone allows it to get taxed. So obviously you don't want to take everything that's really juicy, because it's got to get left, which is why obviously going early lets you get a stock early, which hopefully someone's then going to advance. Equally, you want to go late to make sure you've got the options on where you want to be placing out something, to make sure that if you've got something up to 10, which has occurred to me before, and that's the most I believe you can get it up to, you can then obviously be making sure it does get scored. Great idea, i.e. you can't go too hard on something, otherwise it won't be scoring. As I said, you can take multiple tokens. Obviously, you do need to work a little bit with each other, and that's something to be aware of. And my rating, I think the rating presently is something like 6.9, and I would give it higher than that. Like I said, I look forward to trying out the other one, which is a 1 to 5 player game, and seeing how different that plays. There are other maps you can be playing too. I think duration, like I said, including a teach, it's under an hour. Obviously, it takes a little bit to explain about the fact that if it's not here, it won't score. So you have to remind people of that. And obviously, if it is here, but it's in the negative zone, don't worry about it. I don't know how deep you need to be thinking about strategy about worrying about it being too negative, but crucially, you're not getting any points at all that way. Of course, you're not getting any points here, but that's something to be aware of. So yeah, something to consider. It's definitely something to check out, like I said. Let me know your thoughts, as always, like I said, best in YouTube. And I look forward to bringing you videos again by those other companies too. So I have met David, who I believe is the owner of Modas Design Studio. I might have even said that wrong before. So it's Modas Game Design. Might ask for the actual pronunciation. Like I said, all these tokens will get used out of the bag too. So of course that makes sense. Make sure that in, for example, a 4-player game, you're removing 2 of each color. Just remember there's 6 colors, not 5. So make sure you've got the right removal. The insert works very effectively. Obviously the nice cloth bag with a nice kind of rust stain is very cool as well. And yeah, that's something I recommend you highly check out. So that has been Mini Rails. Any questions, of course, as always, let me know. But for now, back to the table.